Hi, Eric. How you doing? Hey, the first thing I want to say is you're doing some really very awesome stuff in your responses. You're really giving some very good, thoughtful response posts and critiques. So I really appreciate that, and I'm sure as I can imagine your classmates who are fortunate enough to get your responses feel the same way. So please keep that up. That's wonderful work. Okay, I kind of got a kick a little bit out of your writing right here. I can see we've gone a little too far this week. Yes, yes, we have. It just seems like everybody jumped right into the mock-up stage and totally forgot about the sketch stage, which is uh, pretty darn important for this project of being a concept-driven project. The sketch stage is, of course, critical. So let's take a look at this. And I just want to describe something here because you don't feel very confident. You don't sound very confident on the work. And I get that. I get that. I totally get that. And I really think it's so important that you included your sketches. And I just, you're going to hear me chiming in all the time about the importance of sketching to traditional graphic design. And the reason is, this is exactly the reason, Eric, because I'm going to agree with you. Your final iterations are not working, okay? But your sketches are phenomenal. I mean, these are great. These are fabulous. Let me tell you where I think things have gone awry, so to speak. In your sketches, you're studying form, pure form. That's why the sketches are so successful. Now, can you go through these sketches and describe the relevance of each one and how it's associated with Budapest and why the shapes are relevant? That's important because you're going to be asked to do so when you choose your final logo. Studying form like this is very smart in logo development because you're looking at basically these figure ground relationships sans any other kind of given or prescribed meaning through the use of color or digital effects. Quite often I recommend students design in black and white, especially when developing logos. All right? The reason being is because it's a lot easier to work with form when you're working with black and white, sans the meaning added when you start working with color. Okay? The problem I see from here to here is that these are just, you're depending too much here. Here you're depending on form, pure form. It's great. Sketches are great. Here you're going straight to digital effects. I think that's your mistake. Okay, you've got gradients, you've got water droplets and reflections and strokes and more gradients, and then you've got these kind of like beveled and embossed effects. Same thing up here. Let's forget all that for now. Okay, let's just concentrate on creating meaning through form and not effects. Okay? What I want you to do is this. I think that I think any one of these has potential. I do. I think this is very interesting. Right now, I think all of your work is just, it's too congested because you've got the name, the year, and the rings. Okay? So I think that this right here is pretty good. I think that is going to have your most potential. I recommend, and I think that is a good typeface too. I think, but it might be. Ooh, boy. Try a couple different typefaces. I think it's a good typeface. I get this Budapest feel out of this, but it's kind of illegible. It's hard to read. So let's think about it. This is pretty good typeface right there. I'm wondering how that's going to work over here. Try it. I would say the first things first is start talking about or thinking about. Actually, I just want to say I'm not art directing. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm giving some suggestions. You're free to move forward whichever direction you feel is the most has the most potential. Okay, I think clearly these two are your strongest. Okay, this one actually has better form, has better mechanics than this one. But I think this one has some pretty good potential. All right, keep in mind moving forward, this is a Winter Olympics event, so the use of red and yellow indicate warm colors, and I think that's a confusing psychological sort of profile that's difficult to break when you're talking about Winter Olympics, because the warmth of the colors. That's the only logo really where I'm seeing the color as being an issue. I think the rest are pretty good. Okay. Yeah, this right here, I mean, and this is just, again, I just want to just reiterate this right here, this transition, this is really, really a solid, good looking sketch. And I like the relationship between the elements. I like the relationship between the group and the type. But it kind of got lost down here somewhere. Maybe it's the congestion of everything. I would say work with these two and work in black and white. Once you get form settled, then start working with color. Okay? I think that's going to help. Okay, pictograms. Again, sketches are phenomenal. Don't forget, now, these are going to be on tickets, and, like, okay, to me, this says ski jump. That's a cool sketch. Good job. To me, this says ski jump, right? So, but now don't forget, they're going to be on tickets and signs, so you're going to afford the luxury of having the word ski jump associated with this. So, they don't have to be immediately recognizable as exactly what they are. So you do have a little bit of leeway there. One thing I do want to caution though, these are very, very frail. These will not reproduce well. Specifically, let me just zoom in right over here and grab my move tool. And let's jump down here and see that almost hairline. That's going to disintegrate in print. And this will not hold up well to print. None of these will, because they're just too slight. I do like the organic movement and the organic stroke, but I think that we need more weight in different areas. Now look, right now I'm at 59%. Let me just go, even as I back off a little bit, see how they're starting to break apart. See how that is really starting to break apart. Right now, that looks like a line and a circle. So, food for thought. Keep working, and I think good job. If you have any questions at all, or if you want to run anything by me in the interim, feel free. All right? Thanks, man. Good job.